How's it, everyone? Hope you are having a fantastic day. Welcome to How's It Cousins, the podcast where we take a look at the unique people of the world and the interesting things they do. We talk about them, we relate to them, and maybe literally, and hopefully we can help you relate to them as well as our listeners. Today, in studio, we have with us a friend of mine, someone who we call a Renaissance man. It is at Twitter, Urafterthought, my boy Troy.
How's it going? How's it, cousins? Once again, it's just a wonderful pleasure to be here with you guys. I appreciate the opportunity, share some thoughts, talk some knowledge, and have a good time.
Chris, I'm not going to lie. I didn't really want to talk to you today. But, knowing that Troy is there, I am now interested in talking to you today. Let's do it, man.
Aloha, Alvin. Thanks for the pregnant pause. And I don't know if I'm going to cut that out of the final recording, but we have this clue, this pass-off thing. Anyway, thanks for jumping in to the interview podcast.
Yeah, man. It's always fun. I'm down to talk to you. Yeah, let's do it.
Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that you are watching the How's It Network. If you like what we got, then you can check us out at howsitnetwork.com. That's where all of our main stuff goes up. Might be broken, might not be broken. We're trying to fix it. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing, check us out on all the popular podcast services, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever you want. We're there. Follow us on social media at How's It Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to see what we're up to, the most up-to-date things, then we always try to post stuff there. Troy, where can anyone find you on the internet?
They can easily find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Urafterthought, Urafterthought. I check the Instagram on the daily, the Twitter on the maybe, so love to hear from the good peoples. Let me know what your thoughts are.
Alvin, you got anything to plug before we get started?
Yes, my name is Aloha Alvin, and you can find more of me at alohalvin.com.
All right, so in tradition to our other interview shows, we're going to start off with the icebreaker, even though we've broken a lot of ice so far. And this is going to put everyone on the spot, and even myself, because I'm not prepared for this, just saying. Okay. Our icebreaker is we play a little game, and did I call it How's It Ice? How's It Breaks? How's It something? We made up a fucking name for this. We're going to call it the How's It Icebreaker right now.
Okay.
But what we're going to do is each of us is going to throw out a word, I guess, or a simple phrase, but a word or a simple phrase, and the other two are going to say what that means to them, like relate to it. If you took that, applied it to yourself or whatever, like you're gonna say what that means to you, how you relate to that. And then the first person will kind of say why they brought it up, why they think that, why it's important. Have us get to know each other a little better, even though we've done a good job of it already. So start thinking now, and as I'm chumming the time and talking, I'm starting to, Alvin, I don't know if you have one ready.
Okay, I got one.
You do. Okay, so Alvin's gonna go first.
Okay.
He's going to throw out his word / mini phrase, and then we're going to respond to it in what that means to us.
Okay, so I guess I'm targeting Troy here. He is the guest, so unless he doesn't want to go first. Troy gets to decide to go first or not. There you go. And my word is clip.
Clip.
Yeah.
Like CLIP.
Correct.
Clip. All right.
You can pass. As the guest, you can pass.
Okay. I'm feeling I'm going to pass.
Okay.
Just give me a little moment for that. Sorry, Chris.
So when this is bad. So when you say clip, I think of on Twitch, because hey, by the way, we're broadcasting live on twitch.tv/HowsItNetwork this episode. Check us out. But on Twitch, clips are very short segments of your video to where you can, I guess, clip it. You can like show like a highlight, a little clip, or anyone else that watches you, anyone else that sees your video can also clip it and it'll appear on your page. Why I associate to that is that the clips are like a highlight. It is a showcase. It is a part of yourself that everyone's like, hey, this was cool that you did, or hey, you think that, hey, this is cool that I did. It allows everyone to, I guess, showcase what it is that you're doing. And I think it's a really cool feature, and it allows you to engage. And the point of that is that it gives you another way of interacting and praising. And I think that's really cool.
Chris, I've heard this before, but I didn't know what it was. So like Overwatch big name people. They'll be playing live, although I'm watching on YouTube or whatever. And then some guy does a great shot and he goes, "Yo, someone clipped that." And I didn't know what that meant. I assumed, and now I'm confirmed. So thank you.
Man, at the same time, like that was kind of deep. That was moving, Chris. Like I really appreciate that.
Good stuff.
Because I feel like as deep as that was, I had this whole shallow definition.
That's fine. Whatever, that's fine.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah. All I could think of was like watching Coming to America. And I'm thinking of when they're in the barbershop and Akeem is getting his hair cut, you know, his royal lock. And then just that little
Ooh.
That's off the hawk. He tossed it away and it's like, oh man, that'll be $8. And that's the only thing that came to mind at this time. It's like, oh man.
Dude, that was awesome, man. I'm laughing. Chris is laughing. That was awesome. So, comes back to me, clip. So the reason why I say that is I have binder clips next to me and I love them. They are cheap. They are useful. They are sturdy. All the good stuff, all the nice adjectives. For instance, if I were to make myself a reminder, I'd probably put it on the binder clip. Good stuff. Now, the thing about a binder clip that I love is it is not a clothespin, because I used to use a clothespin. It's kind of clumsy. Think of how a clothespin is shaped.
Very fucking clumsy. Why would you put a clothespin? That's fucking horrible. What are you doing?
Exactly, right? Like, it was just a clipping device that I could use. But once I found the binder clip, so much more power, appropriate amount of power, not too much. Also, the legs of a binder clip are perfect for zip ties or rope or whatever you got to tie with. Awesome. So that's what came to mind for me. Good times.
Awesome. By the way, Cantor808 in the chat says, "Lo, that'll be $10 after you snip off the royal clip, buddy." Hey, yo.
It's a priceless scene. Oh, man. Priceless clip.
Definitely.
Yeah. Nice, priceless clip. Yes, I enjoyed that movie so much. Nice. The royal penis is
Sparta in the Twitch chat says, "Binder clip defined as power."
Yes, agreed.
I agree there.
Yes.
You're giving Alvin a little too much credit, but hey, we'll do what we gotta do. Anyway, so. Do you have a theme, or do I gotta go? You gotta think.
No, I have a word. It just popped into my head.
Go ahead. You, as the guest, you may go ahead.
The word was spam.
Oh,
spam. Ooh.
Interesting. All right, I'll go first.
Okay, I was gonna say there's two ways you can take this. Go ahead.
No problem. Okay, so this might not quite be where you're going with it. So let's go with stigma. Okay, like there's a lot of stereotypes that people assign to people as well as things. It is unfortunate. You know, I try to be enlightened and I try to tell people about stuff that they don't know so that they can be enlightened too. And I'd like stereotypes to be smashed. So the thing that comes to mind for me with spam is a lot of people don't eat spam. Oh, okay, so here we go. There's this girl I was dating a long time ago, and I remember I would just ask people this for fun. I'd be like, "Hey, do you eat spam?" Knowing that they come from the mainland. And very often the answer is no, of course not. You know, that kind of thing. No, of course not. And then I'll ask them, "Do you eat hamburger?" "Oh yeah, totally." And I'm like, interesting, because to me they kind of blur together. They're not the same. They're not. But I blur them together. Now the thing that really sticks out for me, and I don't know if you guys heard this, was apparently they're whoever they are, like NASA or somebody, they're working on a trip to Mars. So the plan is to get people to Mars. Now the question is, what will they be eating? Right? Like the goal here is to create a recipe that people can eat and enjoy eating and, you know, sustain these humans on the long ass trip. So there's all these different recipes. And the one that was a super, like, knock it out of the park, awesome hit was spam fried rice. I'm like, yes, it is. It is delicious. So I love that. Although it is spam mixed with other stuff, not just spam, it was still like getting the word out. Like, yo, spam is delicious. And it does last a long time. And it's going to help astronauts. That is awesome.
So, Cantor808 in the Twitch chat says spam is being recalled, by the way, just FYI.
No, is that real? I didn't know that.
Fuck, I don't know.
Okay.
I'd love more information on that as you keep going. But anyway, so I'm going to go the other way.
Okay.
Because you went with the spam meat. I will go with the spam mail.
Ah, yes.
And so when I hear spam, I think of what you don't normally want to see. Right? So like spam email, as they say, right? You try to filter it out of your email inbox. But that being said, I find it very interesting in that how we'll put this is one person's spam is another person's treasure.
Yes. Completely agree.
It's interesting to look at, you know, I try to keep a relatively clean inbox so I can at least sort through my mail. But I've seen to where people find some real gems in their spam. Like, you know, they'll buy like some crazy product that was like 50% off because the spam mail said, hey, there's a sale, but I wouldn't listen to or pay attention to that. So I want to say that even though we generally regard it as crap, spam is in the eye of the beholder too. Even the crap part.
Nice. Was that like RussianBeauties.com?
No, I'm not going 50% off of RussianBeauty.com, just saying. But anyway, Cantor808 dropped us a link. We'll have to check that out later.
Okay, nice.
As we're chumming, I'll take a look at this.
Good stuff.
So why spam, Troy? Why'd you come up with that?
It was strange because it was just had a vision and
of spam,
yes. And so
real?
it was the meat. Yeah, it was the meat. And I'm probably going to become the most unpopular person here. I am from the mainland, and I am not a lover of spam. And
boo this man.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
but let me at least give a little background. So like the first time I experienced spam is my parents were cooking it, and they weren't cooking it at all. They literally just had it in this cabinet in the back, and they opened it up, and I remember they were like just letting it pour out of the can, and I just see this huge clump just drop on the plate. And it is like slimy, and I'm just like, what is that? Like, no, I'm not eating that. And stuff. Now, I know I've come here and I've been told, oh, they got to cook it and stuff like that. And I will give spam, credit, because I have had spam fried rice, really good. I haven't brought myself to actually have a spam musubi ever.
What?
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
You gotta be shitting me.
That would be the the pinnacle of when I can just get over my.
Bruh. After we finish this recording, we're going to 7-Eleven.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm ready yet.
We're buying the Spam Katsu Musubi, which is a heart attack in a fucking plastic wrapper. It's delicious, though. Holy shit.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, I got to get over it. I have to just, put it behind me and get there. But yeah.
Interesting.
Not yet.
Hold up. I have to imagine that, yes, he will be getting crap over this, which I don't completely agree with, because I do need to say this. You tried it though. See, that's the thing. You tried it. I met people who are like, bro, I won't even try it. Like, you don't even know, and it smells delicious. That's the thing too. I've had people say, wow, what's that smell? I'm like, dude, it's spam. Like, that smell you're enjoying is spam. Like, they haven't even tried it. So hey, man, you have tried it. You formed your own opinion. Not so bad. That's all right. It's all right.
You should never try it straight out of the can, though.
Oh,
that's weird.
That is no hard pass.
Yeah.
Even me, who eats it a lot, will say not straight out of the can. Fuck
that's
that.
weird. Yeah. That's pretty weird.
Playing out of Spart in the chat says, I feel so mindless compared to these answers. Bro, we got some liquid. If you look at, if you're watching, we'll cheers to that. And this is how you get the non-mindless answers. There you go.
Boom.
Cantor808 says, head to Zippy's and get the Spam omelet sandwich.
I've never had that, but I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
That's some winner shit right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, nice.
All right. So now that we've gone through, I'm gonna go cliche. I'm gonna go kind of with the theme of the last episode that Troy was in, but my word / phrase is break the mold.
Oh, okay.
Alvin, got anything?
I don't have anything that good. I got stuff in my head, I guess. I'll throw it down. Okay, so in the X-Men comics, sorry guys, I'm going there. I love the Sentinels. I think they're awesome. And as far as the average viewer or reader is concerned, they're just these robots that attack, and you don't really think about it. They attack mutants, quote unquote, only mutants. That's not always true. But I remember never actually asking myself, where exactly do they come from? And then there's an episode of the cartoon where you see this thing called Master Mold. And Master Mold is the thing that makes Sentinels, essentially a Sentinel birthing pod. And just like all the other Sentinels, it looks kind of ridiculous, giant, oversized, all that stuff. But I love them. I love knowing the source. It brought me a lot of joy. And I'm not going to lie, whenever I hear Mold, my brain kind of goes there. Not every time, but pretty often. And this time, definitely.
So how are you going to break that?
No, there's no breaking it. I love Master Mold. Okay,
fine. Okay, cool. Whatever. You do you, bro.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I got to kind of use a sports reference.
Sure.
That was kind of where, even when we were talking earlier, that came from. Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like that.
Using that, redefine the game. That the little guy can be the big game changer and stuff. And so what he has done, with just his ability to shoot, it has changed how one offenses structure their plays. To how you even defend a person, because when you know that someone is just that good, at shooting, you know, and you're defending them, knowing that any moment, as long as they have that half a second to get a shot off, like you're on pins and needles. It's ridiculous to watch like some of these guys. And so that just makes his dribble so much better now, because any little thing that he goes left or right, knowing that he could pull up on that shot, a defender is like, he's defenseless pretty much against him. And so I definitely thought once he came into the league with his shooting, you know, and you just saw like now Houston, you know, they changed their game on how they're doing their shooting. And you look at even Utah is another good team of it, but everyone is changing their game now to pretty much embody the 3-point as like just the premier way to, you know, utilize the offense. It's not about dunks and big men anymore. And so it's just more free flowing. And I thought he was definitely a break the mold game changer, and his coach, Steve Kerr, to actually embrace
that is a big thing too, right?
What he's doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, support it.
Wait, I gotta ask what's up?
Okay, go ahead, Alvin,
Right.
go ahead.
As a guy who does not know basketball that well, I was talking to my friend. He knows basketball much better than I do, and we're talking about stuff. He loves Golden State, and then we're talking about the 3-pointer thing, and then he made this comment that in the old days, this would not have been an option. And I'm not sure exactly how he phrased it, but it sounded like in the old days, you can muscle a little dude and just mess with him. So the shooting would be more difficult. But because of our new rule set, whatever the new rules are, Steph Curry gets to go throwing threes all day. Are you familiar with this rule change or whatever that is? I don't remember the name.
Oh, yes, I am definitely familiar with it. And I did want to answer Cancer 808 because he had a question, who's a better shooter, Harden or
Ooh.
Curry? And I will definitely say that that's easily Curry. And you can look at Harden's statistics, field goal percentage to actually prove it. So like Curry is about to be a career, you know, all-time shooter, which is basically hit, you know, 50% from the field goal, at least 40% from 3-point, and 90% from the free throw line. And Curry is going to smash all those. Harden, he can get to the rim. He's a scorer. I would definitely give him that. But as far as pure shooter, it's not even like Mark Jackson had it right on with Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, best 2 shooters in the NBA. And I haven't seen anything that I would argue against that. Now to go back to what you were saying, Alvin, as far as the rule change, yeah, hand checking.
Is that what it
huge
is?
difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the hand checking rule and what you could do, how much contact you could pretty much have with a player while they were dribbling, because beforehand you could have that hand on a player pretty much and kind of like ride along. So it made it a lot harder for that shooter to get the separation to get a shot off of. Nowadays, it's just like, you know, any contact, any brush, and it's instantly called a foul. So you basically can't touch them, which means all they have to do is just, you know, make one strong move, fake one direction or another, and they can have all the separation that they need to actually make a shot. So yeah, if Jordan, like if Jordan would have had, you know, today's current rules, you know, even with a 30-point steady average, like I can only imagine he would be probably putting up like Harden-like numbers today.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
So for our listeners and viewers, I bring in Break the Mold because that is my personal theme. You know, I'm very much someone who likes to challenge the rules, I guess, to some degree. Someone who likes to take the age-old practices that maybe people have come up with and say, hey, do we really need to do it that way? So on a previous episode in which Troy was featured, by the time you're listening to this, that is something that I pride myself personally on, is trying new things and trying things in different ways. So that we don't have to say, well, you know, if we did it 30 billion times the same way, we might as well do it that same way again. I like to challenge that. I like to do differently.
Before we move on to something else, so Troy, when you're describing like the movements in my head, because I don't really know basketball that well, I envision the and one tapes. I don't even know if those are still a thing, but I remember seeing those and be like, damn, that's ridiculous. And those cool moves, which apparently I was told are super illegal in NBA game time. I don't know how that works either. Are you familiar with and one? Do you love it? All that good stuff? Thoughts?
I am familiar with them. Just a quick answer, Klingon, he had a question, you know, what is my favorite sport, which is basketball. That's why, I love talking about it all the time.
Nice.
And then my exercise techniques, that's various. Actually, I guess I need a little more detail as to what that question is asking. But
Dude, black swimmer. Just saying.
that is my technique right there.
Just saying.
Not let it go. There you go.
It's going to be unpopular. I'm sorry. Don't hate me too much on Twitter, but
I didn't know it was a thing. But and one, so yeah, they still go on. In fact, I
nice.
just saw recently So the professor, remember him?
Yes.
Yep. The professor, like he recently like went to, I remember, I wish I remember what show I was watching, but he went to like a prison because they were kind of doing like a spiritual fellowship stuff. And so he was kind of going to the prison and, he was playing one-on-one with them and stuff. So, I mean, of course they had like security and stuff like that, but it was kind of like a give back. And so he was, doing all the same moves, all the hot sauce,
Nice.
and everything else. And he still had it. And I mean, we say the moves are illegal, but if you watch like some of today's NBA games, it's the same moves going on, just not getting called and stuff.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's still definitely alive. And, I remember a lot of those guys growing up. I love the shirts. The smack talking shirts. That's what A1 was known for. They would have some of the best smack talking shirts that I had ever seen. It's like, oh man, I just want nothing else but that.
Cantor 808, gotta shout out that hot sauce.
Right.
Hot sauce. Hell yes.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yes. Yeah. Nice.
All right, so Troy, we gotta got through our little exercise here.
Mm-hmm.
So how about you tell the viewers, I know this might be a little bit dated info, but I think it's interesting and I think we should extract it. Let's talk about the 808 life. Let's talk about promotions. Let's talk about that's lifestyle. I mean, what is that like?
Oh man,
Mr. Renaissance Man.
I mean, this whole island, as long as I have been here, it's just been a wonderful experience. And there's just so many unknown gems that are here that people just need to have that. In life, I like to always say there's opportunity and then there's exposure. And then on Hawaii, there's like just so many groups of talent, so much talent that just needs to be exposed. And so when I had the 808 life going on, it was basically trying to show off and expose some of those hidden gems. So there's like a lot of groups. I remember there was this old group called the Deadbeats. Mm-hmm. Yep. And they were like kind of a fusion of hip hop and jazz and stuff. So you think like maybe like a Tribe Called Quest, and they would probably take it up to the next level. They were probably more jazz than hip hop and stuff. And so even Cancer 808, so I'm sure he remembers them too, because we would hang out in jazz minds. I would listen to this group play, and I can remember it would be like a Wednesday night. And I mean, just the place filled. So a school night effectively. And you would have like jazz minds on Kapiolani just packed to the brim with just nonstop young, not as young, whatever you want to call it, all different ages and stuff. Just loving it. And then it was just like such an open dynamic, an open community. They would do their songs, but then they would also have like a jam session afterwards. And so if you played an instrument, or if you are a lyricist, if you were a singer, come on up on stage and just do your thing. And it was just like such a great feel, just a great community. And even when I was doing that, and that was almost like 10 plus years ago, that community I still keep with today and stuff. So when I did the 808 life, it was just really just trying to all these talents. Some definitely made it bigger now, but you might not have heard of the Deadbeats or, Kings of Spade or Virgin Mary, of all these other groups that just exist. And I just love live music. So for me, just to be able to go out in town, hear these different groups and try to give them exposure, I just felt like I was just giving back. And because it was just a wonderful community that already existed. Just more people just needed to know about them.
Roger that. So when I'm referring to the 808 life, back a number of years ago, Troy ran a website highlighting these slices of life here in Hawaii. Now, you can still check it out. It's at the808life.com. It still exists. A little bit deprecated, to be honest. I mean, but it's a body of work, right? It is. It's a body of work that existed. Maybe we got to bring it back, yo. Maybe we got to figure out a way to bring this back.
Maybe.
Klingon Spart in the Twitch chat says Hawaii sounds lit. Yeah, to some degree, it can be.
It's pretty good.
Actually,
on that note, I will say shout outs to Jazz Minds. I actually only went there a couple times, but every time I did, it was awesome. I heard Kiana play before. Love her stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, good times. Yeah.
Yep. And we hear it Jazz Minds, but I mean, it went beyond just jazz and music, whether it was slam poetry going on,
I love slam.
A big scene. Yeah. I mean, I would go to some of these places and I mean, it's just packed with these slam poetry sessions, and it would happen whether in downtown, Chinatown. And, I just wanted to just show it all off. It was just so impressive, and if you didn't know, like if you weren't already there, but you're just coming for the first time. And that's what Hawaii is, it's Oahu's just the gathering place, right? But you want to gather and really experience, everything that happens here. And so that was really what the 808 life was all about. It's going into those those may be lesser known places, because we all know about, the Pearl Harbors, and we all know about North Shore. That's just what you're going to see on the travel brochures. But what is Hawaii really about and stuff? And you get into those inner scenes of the culture, the nightlife and stuff. And man, there's just so many things to be uncovered.
Awesome.
Yeah, but definitely like to get that going again. We still have, so the website went down. I'm sorry.
What? It did?
The website went down.
Oh, web host problems. Okay, we can figure this out.
It happens.
The Facebook page is still there. So
okay. No, we can figure out this web host thing. Like,
we can bring it back.
Okay, we could be making deals on air right here. HowIsItNetwork.com. We could figure this out. Hold on. After this show, maybe we'll talk about this. Anyway.
Nice. Okay. So, listeners, right now, you may or may not know of what we were discussing earlier, so I'm gonna bring that back. Chris was saying something, and then Troy's response was, "Yes, I used to play that sport." And then we talked about something else, and then Troy's response was, "Yeah, I used to play that sport too." So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make up something. I'm gonna look up random ass sports, and I'm gonna expect you to say yes. It doesn't even matter what the sport is. You're gonna say yes. So,
all right.
I hope you're looking shit up right now.
I'm not. I was kidding. I mean, I can, but well, okay. Like, here's a good example. I know 0 people who play lacrosse. So hey, there you go. I applaud that, man.
Yeah, I mean, like lacrosse. So I went to a private school, so they had lacrosse. Much respect for that sport. Knew nothing about it when I went to it. Did play it a couple of times. Absolutely loved it. I didn't actually end up, going for the team or anything, but just exposure again. You don't know what you don't know. And once you start knowing what you don't know, it's like, oh man, this actually could be pretty cool. And you just want to know a lot more. And so, yeah, I have a lot of respect for them. If you don't know what lacrosse is, kind of think of, I guess, soccer, maybe with sticks. Yeah. So you're not kicking the ball. You're just using this like stick with a little basket at the end to control the ball, and you're passing it amongst the players. But that stick is also like a weapon, because you're like trying to foul and knock the ball out of other people's hands. It's a pretty physical sport. So like lacrosse is not for the weak. So if you if you're looking for something entry level, might not be the best thing for you, but definitely, Australian rules, football, rugby, you're starting to get up into those levels when you're playing with lacrosse. So much respect to all lacrosse players.
Okay. If you could say yes to this, you would get bonus coolness points here. I'm just being honest. So, have you ever done archery?
Oh, I think you got me there.
Oh, okay.
I think you got me there.
I actually did look up the list. I'm like, archery would be badass. I've played with the bow and arrow, but man, it's nothing. I don't know it like the way you would really know it if you played it like for a year or two or whatever. So, okay.
In the Twitch chat, Klingon of Sparta asking Troy, defender or attacker in lacrosse?
Defender. Ooh. And that's the same as I do in soccer. Like, I never really mastered the skills, but like I can just go all out with the effort. So, and even in soccer, like I play defense, and same with lacrosse.
Oh, while we're on. Okay, I gotta ask this. I don't remember the name of this, but you might, as a guy who knows soccer. So, okay, let's say I was playing soccer. So, of course, I'm gonna get good at soccer things. But there is a different game that's apparently, if you master that game, you instantly become a soccer beast. And the description, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like soccer, but the ball is smaller. And it's like soccer, but the field is smaller. And it's like soccer, but there's a lot more one-on-one time. So like, if I were to play normal soccer, ball handling by me may or may not happen. That, you gotta like luck out and be skilled. But in this other game, because it's so confined and shrunken down, you constantly have ball handling. So guys who master that are beasts in soccer. Do you know what that is? I forgot what it was called.
Anything come to mind?
Not me, man. Like, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Like,
I like to read stuff about growth and understanding and how the brain can expand and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things was how to get better at something, right? So, okay, video games. That's just what I know. So if my guy has like these 5 different moves, but he has a super move, then I can only practice the 5 moves most of the time. And when I get a super, I might be a clumsy guy because I can't practice it. I don't get my chance to do it. So what the book recommends is that one thing you want to get good at, you do that over and over. So you go to a custom game in Overwatch and you set it up so that you get the super all the time. So then you just become a beast at it because you're using it all the time. And the thing the author was explaining was there's these soccer superstars that come from different countries, which may or may not be a coincidence. But in those other countries, they play this, I'm just going to call it small soccer Sorry for mutilating that because I don't remember what it's called. But they play so much small soccer that when they play real soccer, they're just monsters at it. And it's like the great example is ball handling. You know, like you don't always get to handle the ball when you're playing. Like you may or may not. But in this other version, damn it, I forgot what it's called. But yeah, you get better at it. Like the equivalent for tennis is, and I forgot what this was called too, but you stand like 5 feet away from the other guy or whatever, and you just keep hitting constantly. There's no net. You just keep hitting. And my friend had me do that because he was like, Alvin, you suck at this. Let's practice this. So that was fun too. But the idea is, and this is just throwing it out there for any listeners, if you want to get better at something, that's one of the things you can do. Find a shrunken version, focus the hell out of it, and then you get better at it.
I don't disagree with you. In the shrunken version, yeah, you'll get better at it. I just don't know what the fuck you're talking about in terms of what those are actually called. Like,
well, I think the soccer game is called, is it futsal?
Oh, yeah,
futsal.
Maybe.
Futsal, maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of the racket version yet. So what you're saying for tennis, but yeah, I think the soccer version is called futsal.
Futsal.
Yep.
Okay, nice. Yeah, see, so have you played futsal?
I haven't played futsal.
Okay.
Because like I said, for me in soccer and lacrosse, like that was an experience. You know, I wasn't playing on the teams because, well, my school at the time, they were like super awesome. They are still super awesome in soccer. So like they're like national champions. And so I was never able to make that, that team. Lacrosse team, not as super awesome and stuff, but I ended up going with water polo. But I do know of futsal just because there was a lot of guys on the soccer team who actually would play that because they would do it basically indoors. When the weather, wasn't as good and stuff, and like much smaller, court and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm aware of it. Didn't play it myself, and I don't think I was going to make the team even if I did.
But yeah, on that note, to back up what that author was saying in the book about getting better at what you want to get better at, like talent and all that, futsal helps a lot for soccer. Clearly, you know guys who did both, so there you go. Interesting. Nice. Okay.
All right. First off, shout out in the chat saying Sparta previous learning that is similar promotes current learning. Totally with you there.
True.
In terms
Yeah.
of what we're
Good
talking
call.
about sports and such. I'm gonna take a hard pivot.
Okay. Do 'em.
Ready? Yeah. Troy, let's talk to the people.
Okay.
About speed dating Hawaii.
Speed dating Hawaii.
Woo. Wait. Are you saying speed dating?
Speed dating.
Oh, okay. I just had to be sure. That is a very hard pivot. Okay. That's okay.
So it does exist in Hawaii, if you didn't know. So there still is a company called HiSpeeDating still going on. If you've seen, there was a movie that made it so popular.
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So basically, here we go. You have a couple of couples. We'll say between 8 and 10 couples. Ladies are going to sit at tables. The guys are going to spend some amount of time with them. We'll say in this case about 6 or 7 minutes. They do their best thing. You try not to be like the same over and over. Oh, where'd you go to school? What do you do for work? Gotta be a little spontaneous. And then after the 6 or 7 minutes, you're going to rotate and you're going to do the same thing over and over again. And so there was HiSpeeDating, and that company is still going on. Really, really awesome time. I was a part of that. And we will hold that at Bar 35 in Chinatown at that lanai in the back. Wonderful time. Basically, what we do is set up a little, a pre-dating arrangement where we would just have some poo-poos, have some adult beverages, let people just sort of mingle a little bit. And then we'd actually have the event. And that's where, we have the rotations. And what I love most about that was there's so many awesome people in Hawaii, like Hawaii, Oahu being the gathering place. You've got the locals, but then I love our military because you have like every single military branch here. And with every single military branch becomes a representative of pretty much every part of the United States of America. So it could be, Dirty South. It could be Midwest. It could be SoCal, NorCal, East Coast, West Coast and stuff. And they just all come to one spot. And so you get the entire like variety, which I like to call it, of people all in one same place, and then you just get to see the dynamics just work, and sometimes it works well and sometimes it doesn't. And we have definitely, have had validity on not everyone is meant to be with others, so sometimes you'll have that compatibility and a lot of times you won't. And so, but it was a great venture. Like doing it at Bar 35, they would always have like live music afterwards. I would love it when the people came in. because it's really just about meeting people. And so like you would go, a lot of people go to the whole bar scene and they're like trying to meet people, but you just end up just buying a lot of drinks, being maybe intimidated, not wanting to talk to others, looking for that someone else or something. Just meet people, not so much looking for, wife. Cause I don't think most people say, I'm going to go to the bar and find my wife.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
True.
But it's an icebreaker pretty much. And now it's like what we're really just trying to do. It's just like, hey, get that ice broken, engage in that conversation and stuff. And so if you can have, 20 people do that in one night, that's like a pretty successful night and stuff. Even if it all doesn't work out, it's a lot further than you just sitting there and just being intimidated by that person right next to you saying, all right, hey man, what line you going to do? You going to break that move or whatever and stuff like that. So really good time. Again, it like stemmed from kind of the Jazz Minds roots, because initially it would start at Jazz Minds and then it kind of migrated over to Bar 35. And, Bar 35 crew, shout out to Bar 35, just a great atmosphere. They would always hook it up, have the background music, the ambiance and stuff like that. We try to keep it a little fly, decorate the place and stuff like that. And everyone had like a really good time. And at the end of the night, you hang out a little more, hear some live music. And the next day, you find out if you're compatible with whoever you met that night. And if you are, hey, go on and have even, greater times. If not, come by and try again. So I was initially involved with that because I was doing some stuff at Jazz Minds, and the owner, she had asked if I could help out with some website stuff because I knew her from Jazz Minds. And, I gave it a try for myself because it's like, I'm not going to like promote something that I don't believe in. Good and man. So, I went out and gave it a try. And then some people come out in suits and a tie, they go all out. Wow. And, some people just come out in board shorts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of like that in between. I had some some khaki, some cargo shorts or something like that and a t-shirt, but you just be yourself and you just go out and like, if people are going to accept you for you, then, it's probably a long lasting relationship. And so even from the first time that I went out and did that, like I'm still friends with some of those people. And this was like 8 years ago and stuff. So there's really like value, in those personal relationships and stuff. And so, yeah, I was happy to be able to do it. And hopefully we'll do some more sessions. But if you want to check it out, it's at HiSpeeDating.com. And so be careful of the spelling because it's HiSpeed with one D dating.com. Just keep check on the website and you'll see when future events come out.
All right, Troy, this is not a question for you because I think you already know the answer. But if you don't, please chime in. Chris, question for you. So I remember I heard about speed dating. So I remember looking it up. There is actually a statistic for this. Chris, do you know how long it takes for a woman who meets you to decide whether or not she's going to have sex with you? Do you know that number? Wait, Troy,
no, I don't. No, I don't, but it's probably like 10 seconds or something like that. It's probably like ridiculously fast. I'm just saying, not to be hateful or anything.
Troy, do you know that number or have you heard that statistic?
I haven't heard it. I want to guess like 4 minutes though.
No, it's actually like 8 seconds. It's something ridiculous. Yeah, I know. The first time I heard them, that's gotta be fake, but I believe it. I'm sure there are many women who see a guy be like, nope, or as Chris Rock likes to say, when women meet Denzel, they kick it off their shoes. So like in the opposite sense as well, right? You see a dude, you like him. I'm sure in their minds they know it's a go. So yeah, that the speed dating thing to me seems a little weird. Wouldn't you want to spend more time? But the reality is sometimes you don't even need that. So it's really efficient. I like that. So where I want to bring it back to is that with respect to the 808 life, with respect to high speed dating, things like that, your function was mostly the assist, support, promotion of the product that they're running with. Like, what is that like? Like, what drives you to that? Or, why do you feel like that's a calling to you or something that you really like doing? Or
it's interesting because I guess by nature, I consider myself an introvert. Yet, all these things are extroverted. Like, it forces me to get out of that, my comfort zone and interact with people. Mm-hmm. Because when I found that I'm doing it, I enjoy it. And so I don't know if that no longer makes me an introvert, but like if you were just to leave me alone, not have me surrounded by people, I think I would be like totally comfortable, just do my own thing, mess with music, whatever the case may be. But I actually enjoy, having those interactions that having that exposure, just hearing people's thoughts and things like that, it's interesting to me. It's positively entertaining to me, not like as a entertainment form, but I just naturally seem to enjoy it. So when I do that 808 life, yeah, man, I love just to I love to feel the positive vibes, because that's what I get probably more than anything else. I like to hang out at Waikiki a lot just because there's just positive vibes all around. People want to talk about and share about all the good things that are happening on this island. And, I like to be a part of that stuff. And same with the speed dating things, it's just positive vibes. When you're coming into a positive situation, going to interact with people, it's just a good feeling all around, really. So I think that's what drew me then. It's what continues to draw me now. And whether it's the high speed dating or the 808 life or some other aspect, it'll continue to draw me because, you surround yourself with that goodness. How can you not want just to be a part of more of it?
I'm with you. So the ironic thing is you have 3 introverts on a fucking internet podcast right now, relatively, spilling our beans to the world.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Shout out Twitch chat. Here you go. No, I can totally relate to you. I actually feel that I myself am very introverted in general. So trying to drive toward things like, hey, let's make a podcast and talk to people on the internet and shit, it's a thing to where you want to stretch yourself in that way, right? In whatever way is your own calling and what you want to do. So I'm totally with you in that case. I'm scooping what you're feeling right here. I got you.
Right.
Okay. I'll ask this to the two of you because you're both saying you're introverts, all right? So some of our listeners may feel the same way about themselves. What is your advice to them?
So I'll start with, I'm going to use the Al Davis quote, just win, baby. Just do it. No. And the thing is, honestly, so again, we're now talking to people on the internet. That's what we're doing at this moment. It's a hodgepodge of shit. You can see that we're all kinds of screwed up. Our website's broken sometimes, the graphics work or don't work sometimes. But you know what? The whole point is just put yourself out there. Just at one point, close your eyes, charge through and just do it. Because once you do it, it gets easier every time. That's what I think. Don't worry about it's got to be perfect. Don't worry about what are people going to think. You just do it, and whatever happens, happens. I'll just say, what's the worst that could happen to that point? What's the worst?
Perfect.
Nice.
Maybe someone hates you. That's okay. There's 1 billion people on the internet, if you want to use the internet as a measure. But that's the whole point. Throw yourself out there. Throw caution to the wind and just try it out. You're gonna suck the first number of times. Granted, we're a few months in and we still suck most of the time. That's fine. But just do it. That's what I would have to say.
And he caught it. He said, what's the worst that can happen? Honestly, I mean, there's so much out there that you are excluding yourself from. I mean, I always think about opportunity and exposure, but for that whole exposure, you've got to take a chance. You've got to take a chance. The opportunities are there for you to jump in and just give it a little try. I wish growing up as a child that I had been exposed to more, or I had taken the opportunity to do more things. And, as Chris said, what's the worst that could happen? You're going to be okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. Some things are definitely a little more riskier than others. So, but I've jumped out of planes before. I'm still okay. Nice. All right. So give it a try. I know it's uncomfortable, but hey, we all didn't walk, straight out of birth. We didn't all start running straight out of birth. There were many things that we couldn't do when we were initially starting in our lifetimes, but we took the chance. We got better at it. We do it. So just, hey, dip your foot in the water, go try something else, get out of that comfort zone just for a little bit. You'll grow onto it. It'll become addictive, actually. And once you start exposing yourself to all what's out there, then you'll just realize how much more there really is out there. And you just want to be a part of it.
I made a mistake. Chris, after this, Troy speaks last every time because his answers are so damn good. So I'm gonna throw my 2 cents on there then. So I've had friends, because I definitely know some introverted guys. I've had friends say to me, "Oh, you're good at talking to women. You talk to girls, it's no big deal." And what I tell them is, that wasn't always the case. A long, long time ago, there was some girl, no idea who it was. And I'm like, oh, is she looking at me? Oh, I think she's looking at me. Oh, she's looking at me, that kind of thing. And then she was gone because we were in the middle of something and my opportunity passed. as my friend's then girlfriend said to me, bruh, by the third time, you should have said something. And I'm like, oh, so true, so true. So for me, the breaking the introverted wall came from being fed up with my own lack of ability. I was like, this is silly. This is silly. I'm better than this. I know I can be better than this. And since then, I talk to whoever I want, whenever I want. I talk to CEOs. I talk to janitors. It's all good to me. So that, for me, it was harnessing that energy. Granted, it came from a negative place. But since then, I harness it and I use it. And it's just motivation for me, you know?
Roger that, brother. Roger that.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Alvin?
Yo, throw it at me, man.
So in all of your experiences, now you've been putting yourself out there, you know, what was the worst that happened?
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to say, so this, like, if my friend was here, I would say to him, dude, I have lived that thing where I talk to some girl and I totally fall on my face. Totally. But you know what? Who gives a rip? It doesn't even matter. And then I'm still alive. I'm still good. See, good point, right? Solid point.
Right.
See, Chris, this is why he should talk last. That was a good point.
You have to remember this.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So, customary to some of our interview shows, we're going to transition into a third segment. Troy, if you are ready, we like to call this a lightning round.
Okay.
Nice.
You don't have to answer quickly, but you do have to answer.
Okay.
You can take time. We can comment on it. We could do whatever. But we got some quick jab questions for you, and it'll really stretch your thinking maybe, or at least give us an insight as to where you are.
Okay.
All right. Ready. Are you ready for this?
I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
Nice.
First question. What is best fast food item?
French fries.
What kind of French fries? From where?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh,
Hands down.
classic.
Controversial, maybe,
Classic.
but McDonald's French fries, hands down. Wow, no hesitation. Huh?
No.
Okay, well, I gotta ask. So, I know McDonald's now has cheesy bacon fries. Are you up in that? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I thought that was Jack in the Box.
No.
No.
McDonald's started
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh my
Agreed.
god.
Yeah.
And so I can't really give the full scope on it. I haven't tried it yet. I just know that if, it's late night, even when I shouldn't even be eating or something, because I'm about to go to sleep and I just don't want to have that feeling. Just like, you know what? I just need some McDonald's fries. I just need a medium. Put the sea salt on it, whatever. It's not even sea salt, but whatever salt they put on it is good.
Yep, it's good
going to go for it.
Yep.
Yo, I gotta throw this out there for fun. So, let's say I made a salad or something. After a certain amount of time, it is no longer good. I'd have to throw it away, right? Like food is not okay. McDonald's fries can only sit out for X amount of minutes, and then they throw it away. Do either of you know the number to that? It's crazy.
Well, from experience, it's probably like 3. Like it's fucking
No,
super
it's
low.
ridiculous. Yeah, like that's why you always get hot fries, and that's why they're always so good. The moment they're quote unquote too old, they chuck them. So as a customer, you always get the banging fries all the time, and then guys like him say, "Hey, it's awesome. Good job, Troy."
Yeah. And Chris was like right on it because I couldn't think of the number, but I was going to say once they're not hot.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that was the
Isn't that-
perfect
but-
time.
But isn't that insane? That's so fast, right? Like, yeah, I think it was like 7 minutes, something really fast.
It's something out of control. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Have you ever cried in a movie? And if so, which one was it?
Oh yeah, Armageddon.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Armageddon, hands down.
Oh, wow.
It gets me like every single time.
Oh,
Like that
man.
scene when Bruce Willis, like right before he's about to press the button, and the flashbacks with Grace, I lose it. Like
Oh,
I can't do it.
man.
I just can't do it.
Trippy.
It gets me.
Trippy.
It gets me.
Okay.
Klingon of Sparta in the Twitch chat. Fresh fries, the best fries. Hands down, yes.
Definitely.
True.
Hands
Steph.
down,
Absolutely.
Most
yes.
Steph.
Armageddon. Wow, I like that. That was your first one.
Yep.
All right.
Because it still does it.
What is the best song written in the last 100 years?
Oh, that is a tough one.
And I guess 100 years is an arbitrary number because, if you want to go past 100
Whatever
years,
I can remember,
it's,
pretty
it's way too fucking old. What is-
Oh man. Wow, that's a tough one. That is a very tough one. It's not fair because it's been like remix, but the original Roberta Flack, the Killing Me Softly,
Oh, nice.
it's something
Okay.
that stuck with me for a while,
Yeah.
and I guess it kind of adds a little extra boost because of obviously the Lauryn Hill rendition of it. It has kept it with the current times and stuff. That's a pretty beautiful song.
Okay. You're right. You're right. So even the Lauryn Hill version is a pretty like yeah like that I mean yes it's derived from Roberta Flack, but like that in and of itself is like timeless, you know, now
it's the new time.
It
almost reset the clock
exactly
pretty much.
literally I like that. Okay, if you could guest star in any movie or television show, what would it be?
White Men Can't Jump. I think that's perfect
on multiple levels.
Yeah, it's like perfect. I mean, the trash talking they had in there, the characters, you know, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson,
Wesley Snipes. Oh my goodness, playing basketball. Yeah,
you know, it's just a perfect scenario.
It is like. Well, who would you be? Would you just be one of the hype men on the side? On like
I think I would.
Yeah, just one of those guys like talking shit to Woody Harrelson, oh man.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
They just have some great liners on them. It's like, you know, your mom's so old.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, just like classic throwdown
stuff. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I like that.
I miss Yo Mama jokes.
Yeah.
They're always
there was a place and time, and I don't know what happened after that, you know, but that was the thing. If you could travel through time to meet any person, who would it be?
I think I really would want to meet Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
Jr.
Nice.
And there's kind of I'm kind of giving away my birth date here, but like, not exactly.
You don't have to go that far.
But the, you know, his assassination date was my birth date.
Okay.
And so like my family, you know, consistently, and it's a very supportive, positive thing. But what they'll tell me is, you know, the day that great man went down, you were born, you know, kind of like as a successor. But, you know, the more that I learn about, you know, what type of a person he was, because we all know about the I Have a Dream speech. But when you actually like learn more about just how he lived his life, I mean, it's kind of as idealistic as it can be, really, for any person of in humankind. And so, you know, if I can go back there, even with all of the oppression that he had to deal with, you know, understand the patience that he has, you know, the willingness, how he definitely thought of it as more beyond himself. It's just so hard to really just see in words and stuff or read about it in books. So to have the opportunity to actually be there to experience it, I think would be just priceless, timeless for me.
Awesome. What is something that people are not watching or reading right now that you think they should be?
I don't think we're paying enough attention to the effects that's happening in the environment.
Okay.
There's been like reports putting out that says, hey, you know, the world is going to pretty much collapse in about 12 years. And I just don't think we're really giving it that much attention at the right level. We're seeing the effects of like global warming, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You know, it seems like seasons are shifting over. We're seeing the glaciers are melting, the sea levels are rising. And I just don't think, maybe because it's not going to affect us maybe during our generation, but we definitely have the opportunity to take the actions that could sustain our way of living for quite some time. You know, multiple species have gone extinct because they haven't adapted. And it kind of goes back to like, you know, the Armageddon stuff. You'd rather have the meteor, you know, hit and have the freeze over. So we were proactive in that action, even though it was reactive at the same time, because it's like, hey, it's going to hit. But it's like, we're being told all the signs, hey, we need to go do something, but are we going to actually do it and stuff? And so I don't like to get, you know, political because there's like walls that need to be built.
Oh God.
And things like that.
Oh, not touching that.
Oh, but, yeah.
You know, where that's just from a small standpoint, because we're just talking about, you know, United States of America. There is something that's much bigger, you know, much larger happening on a global scale that I think we need to pay more attention to and actually address.
All right, we'll bring it back with something a little lighter. If your life had a soundtrack, when you walked into a room, what would be playing?
See, this is kind of tricky because, like, I feel like it's a little cocky, but Aloe Black.
Throw it out.
Aloe Black,
yeah?
You know? Yeah, you know what song I'm talking about?
No.
On the Man.
On the Man.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Right? And so, yeah, that used to be my alarm clock for a while. But like, I mean, I would have that play and I'm just like, yes, I'm about to go crush something.
No,
I'm about to go bring it and stuff.
There is something to be said about like power music. Like, you know, they say like the power stance, you stand with your hands on your hips, like, you know, before you go into a big meeting or a big presentation, and that builds you for the day, that sets you up. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's like inner energy that definitely gives you. And I mean, you don't have to like, you know, stick your chest out and make everyone know it. But like at the end of the day, you know what you bring to the table and stuff. And so, yeah, that was definitely the song that was resonating with me.
Totally awesome. All right, and finally, what's one question that you have for us, or do you have one for us?
Oh,
hey, like when's the next time I can come back?
When's the next time you can come back, bro? Anytime.
This has been great.
You are welcome on this show anytime. Like, we can definitely work that in.
All right. Yeah, this has been great. It's been awesome. And outside of our comfort zones, you know, the introvert network and stuff, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
You know, never did this before and stuff, but been loving it.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, I gotta throw this out there. So, for the listeners who are just like newish to what we're doing right now, there was a small conversation earlier. Hey man, I don't know if we'll have enough. I don't know if we'll be able to cover. You know what? No, Troy is badass. It's been fun, right? Like, this is like, I just enjoyed myself. That's all this was. This is good times. 3 dudes. Yeah, you know, it's fun. Yeah.
Shout out to the Twitch chat that helped us keep going as well, man. Cantor 808 Playing out of Sparta, thank you very much for jumping into the show. Like, that has definitely helped fuel this fun that we're having here. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for listening to How's It Cousins this week, as we've had our interview with Big Boy Troy.
Oh, man.
And whatever else name I can figure out for him.
Definitely loving it.
If you like what you're hearing, you can check us out on all the popular podcast services, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, everything under the sun. If you want to see more from us, check us out at howsitnetwork.com. All of our stuff is collected over there. Hopefully it works by the time you get there. We're still fixing the site a little bit. Follow us on social media at How's It Network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the latest happenings are posted there. Troy, if anyone wants to find out from you, your adventures, or find you on the internet, where can they go look?
You can definitely most find me at Urafterthought on Twitter and definitely on Instagram. I always like to say that I check the Instagram daily and the Twitter on the maybe, but that's Urafterthought, Afterthought, because I can only, you know, use so many letters and stuff. So just UR.
Nice, good stuff. And if you like that Alvin-y goodness, please visit alohalvin.com. I have a new collection of articles. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Writers. Please check it out. And hey, if you know, I write like how I speak, and if you enjoyed me today, I'm sure you enjoyed the site.
And if you want to see anything from me, I'm at How's It Chris on Twitter. Most of my dank memes and whatever shit I'm looking at gets posted there. Hopefully something cool's up. If not, then again, howsitnetwork.com. You can find more stuff on that site. We want to thank you again for lending us your beautiful ears. Thank you again to our Twitch chat for being extra supportive. And don't forget, it is not goodbye. We shall see you later.